Have you ever wondered what could defeat the strongest man in the world? Is it the power of weapons? Or a mighty army? No. Sometimes what brings a man down is none other than his own heart and blind trust. This is the story of Samson, a man gifted with supernatural strength, capable of defeating hundreds of enemies with his bare hands. Yet, he was not conquered by force, but by love and betrayal. His life is a grand tragedy of strength, temptation, and redemption. Who was the one that led Samson to lose everything? And what happened when he faced his enemies for the last time? Join me as we uncover the legendary tale of Samson and Delilah, a gripping story of power and betrayal. Part 1. Historical context and main character. Historical context. Thousands of years ago, the Israelites lived under the oppressive rule of the Philistines, a powerful, warlike nation known for their cruelty. They subjugated, exploited, and threatened the very existence of the Israelites. In the midst of this dark era, God chose a champion, Samson, to deliver his people from their enemies. Samson, God's chosen one. Before his birth, an angel appeared to Samson's mother, foretelling that she would give birth to a special child, consecrated from the womb. Samson was a Nazirite, bound by sacred vows. He was forbidden to drink wine, touch the dead, or cut his hair. His uncut hair was the divine source of his unparalleled strength. Samson's extraordinary strength. He once tore apart a lion with his bare hands. He single-handedly defeated 1,000 Philistine warriors using only the jawbone of a donkey. While imprisoned, he uprooted the gates of a city and carried them for miles. But there was a problem. Despite his unmatched power, Samson had one fatal weakness. He trusted too easily in love. And that trust would lead to his downfall when he met Delilah. What happened next? Let's uncover the story together. Part 2. The meeting of Samson and Delilah. Samson and his faithful love. After years of fighting the Philistines, Samson met Delilah, a woman of stunning beauty and irresistible charm. He quickly fell for her. But the real question was, did Delilah truly love Samson? The Philistine conspiracy. The Philistines knew they could never defeat Samson through brute strength, but they could outwit him. They approached Delilah with an offer too tempting to resist. If you can make Samson reveal the secret of his strength, we will reward you with an enormous sum of silver. Delilah accepted, and from that moment, she began her betrayals. 3 attempts, 3 lies. Delilah used sweet words to coax Samson into revealing his secret, but Samson was not so easily fooled. 1. The first attempt. Samson claimed that if he were tied with 7 fresh bowstrings, he would lose all his strength. Delilah tested this, but when the Philistines attacked, Samson snapped the bowstrings effortlessly and defeated them. The second attempt. Samson told her that if he were bound with brand new ropes, he would become powerless. Once again, Delilah tried, but Samson broke free with ease, humiliating the Philistines once more. The third attempt. Samson said that if she wove his hair into a loom, he would lose his strength. But when the Philistines charged in, he simply shook his head, shattering the loom and driving them away. But Delilah refused to give up. Frustrated by her failures, she turned to her most powerful weapon, emotional manipulation and tears. Delilah played the victim, pretending to be heartbroken. If you truly love me, why do you keep hiding the most important truth from me? Samson's heart softened, and this time, he made a fatal mistake. What will happen next when Samson finally reveals his deepest secret? Stay tuned for the next chapter. Part 3. Samson's betrayal and the loss of his strength. Delilah's manipulation. Even after failing 3 times, Delilah refused to give up. She wept, accused, and feigned heartbreak, slowly wearing Samson down. You say you love me, yet you don't trust me. You have deceived me 3 times. If you truly love me, tell me your secret. Samson's downfall. Delilah's words pierced Samson's heart like a sharp blade. After days of relentless emotional torment, he finally let his guard down and revealed his fatal secret. If my hair is shaved, I will lose all my strength and become like any other man. But Samson had no idea. The moment Delilah heard these words, her gaze turned cold. She knew the game was over. The night of betrayal, As Samson slept on Delilah's lap, she summoned a servant to cut his hair. Strand by strand, his long locks fell to the ground, and in that moment, his supernatural strength vanished. The Philistines attacked. Delilah cried out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." Samson jolted awake, but this time, he felt weak. He struggled to break free, but his power was gone. A cruel punishment. The Philistines seized Samson like a captured beast. They gouged out his eyes, ensuring he would never fight again. They chained him and dragged him to Gaza, where he was thrown into a dungeon and forced to grind grain like a common slave. From an undefeated warrior to a blind, broken, and humiliated prisoner. But the story is not over. Deep in the darkness of his prison cell, a glimmer of hope remained. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next chapter. Part 4, Samson's death and final redemption. Samson, the humiliated prisoner. Imprisoned in darkness with his eyes gouged out, Samson had been reduced from an unconquerable warrior to a mere slave, forced to grind grain in the dungeon like a tamed animal. Yet, something crucial was happening. Samson's hair began to grow back. Samson rediscovers his faith. During his captivity, Samson shed his former arrogance. He realized that true strength was not derived solely from muscle, but also from faith and willpower. The day of vengeance arrives. One day, the Philistines held a grand celebration in the temple of their god Dagon to boast of their victory over Samson. Over 3,000 people, including the Philistine lords, gathered in the temple to mock him. Samson was made a spectacle. Laughter rang out. "Behold the great warrior of Israel." Now he is nothing more than a useless blind wretch. They led Samson to stand between the two main pillars that supported the temple's structure. The final prayer. Despite his blindness, Samson lifted his face toward the heavens, his heart turning to God. "O Lord, grant me strength once more. Let me die with my enemies to avenge the wrongs done to me and my people." With every ounce of his remaining strength, Samson grasped the two great pillars with his hands. He trembled as he poured all his remaining energy into one fateful push. The stones began to shudder, and the sound of cracking filled the air. The temple collapsed. The entire dome of the temple came crashing down, burying all those inside, including the Philistine lords. In that very moment, thousands of enemies were killed. Samson also sacrificed himself beneath the falling debris. Redemption and a glorious end. Although Samson had erred gravely, he ultimately fulfilled his mission to defeat the enemies of Israel. His death led to the loss of key leaders among the Philistines and gave the Israelites a chance to rise again and reclaim their freedom. Samson, a legend of strength, downfall, and redemption, will forever be etched in history. Part 5, Lessons Learned from the Story. The tale of Samson and Delilah is not just an ancient legend, it carries profound lessons about human nature and life itself. 1. True strength lies beyond physical power. Samson possessed supernatural strength, yet his downfall was not caused by an enemy's weapon. It was his own weakness of heart. Mental clarity and strong willpower are the ultimate factors that determine true victory. 2. Beware of sweet words and deception. Samson did not fall to swords and spears, but to his own blind trust. In life, the most dangerous adversary is not always the one standing in front of us, but sometimes the one we trust the most. Learn to distinguish between genuine love and manipulation. 3. Mistakes can bring us down, but they are not the end. Samson made a fatal mistake by revealing his secret. Yet instead of giving up, he redeemed himself through his final act, sacrificing himself to defeat his enemies. In life, everyone makes mistakes, but what truly matters is how we rise and correct them. 4. Faith and willpower can change destiny. Even after losing his sight and everything he had, Samson never lost faith in himself or in God. That belief is what allowed him to regain his strength and fulfill his destiny. The story of Samson reminds us that true strength is not in muscles, but in an unbreakable heart and unwavering will. What lessons did you take away from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. Part 6, Conclusion and Call to Action. Samson, a symbol of strength, downfall, and redemption. His story is not just a tragedy of love and betrayal, but also a powerful warning about human nature and the choices we make. Key takeaways to reflect on. True strength is not just in muscles, but in willpower and awareness. Sometimes the ones we trust the most can be the very ones who bring us down. Mistakes do not define us. What matters is how we rise and redeem ourselves. What do you think about Samson? Was he a hero or a fool for love? If you were in his place, would you have avoided his downfall? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, hit like if this story resonated with you. Subscribe for more inspiring and thought-provoking stories. Share this video to spread the lessons from Samson's story. Strength may fade, but willpower and faith will always endure. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.